then this video is for you. If you are not applying for citizenship, then putting it at the end of the series will be too late, and putting it at the beginning, I wanted to get you. Peace and blessings, beloved. It's your sister Aisha Abdul. Welcome back to my channel. So I was thinking if I should do this video now or if I should do it later. So as you guys have seen, I have my whole entire series on Sierra Leone. I have a new video that comes out every Tuesday morning at 9 a.m. But I wanted to squeeze this video in. I was gonna put it at the end, but I think that putting it at the end of the series will be too late. And putting it at the beginning, I wanted to get you guys excited and hyped up to go to Sierra Leone. So without further ado, I am going to tell you all of the steps that you need to take in order to prepare for your Sierra Leone trip. So this series is all about what happens when you're in Sierra Leone, but I'm gonna squeeze this video in to kind of get you prepared for the things that you need to do to get ready for your trip to Sierra Leone. Okay, so first off, to prepare for Sierra Leone, it's not as hard as it seems. It's not as bad as it seems. There is some paperwork that you'll have to do, but it's not a lot. And time goes by fast, which is why I wanted to share this video now. So if you are going to Sierra Leone to apply for citizenship, then this video is for you. If you are not applying for citizenship, then you can totally ignore this video and go watch another one. So if you're applying for your citizenship in Sierra Leone, you have to go with African ancestry, and you have to have a result from African ancestry that says either your maternal or your paternal line is connected to Sierra Leone. So for me, I am both Mende and Temne in Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone has a couple of different ethnicities. There's Alemba people, there's Creole people, there's Mende, there's Temne. You have to have one of those in order to qualify to even apply for citizenship, because you have to show proof that you have ancestry in Sierra Leone in order to obtain citizenship this way, through this process. So also the information that I'm going to give you may be slightly different depending on the group that you're going to go with. So I will put a link in the description below of the option of different groups that you can go with. So I believe there were 4 or 5 groups of us that were there. I went specifically directly with African ancestry. So when I did my payment, my registration, everything, I went to AfricanAncestry.com and I did it through that route. And so the guy that I ended up going with, his name is Diallo. So I didn't intentionally pick Diallo. I'm glad that I did because it's awesome. However, the other guys that you can go with, they're just equally as awesome. So I know a lot of you guys will be going with Dinus Amir. He's very popular. He's a very popular YouTuber. So this is not going to apply to Dinus's group because I did not go with Dinus. I briefly spoke with Dinus to kind of compare a little bit about what he does and whatever information that I have about Dinus, I can share. Maybe I'll bring him in on my channel and do an interview or something with him about his process and what he does. But so this is specifically if you go through African ancestry, your guide's name is going to be Diallo. So when you go in and you do your payment, it's gonna, I believe it's gonna give you a link of the different groups that you can pick from to pick who you're gonna go with. I must have missed that part or something, I don't know. I ended up going with Diallo. So after you do that, you'll have a Zoom call with Diallo and the other people that are on, that have paid to go on the trip with you. So you get an opportunity to kind of get to know the people, get familiar with their faces and their names before you meet up with them at the airport. So Diallo does a really nice Zoom call. He has a presentation to kind of prepare you, give you a packing list, tell you step by step what you need to do, which is going to include these guidelines. So Sierra Leone has guidelines based on the Monuments and Relics Commission. They have guidelines and things that you have to do, paperwork that you have to present to be ready. And the reason is that Diallo gives you this list is because he's very organized. He's a very planning person. He's very organized, which at the end of the day is going to be to your own benefit because it makes the process go that much smoother. I don't know Dinus's process. I don't know if he does Zoom calls. I don't know in terms of paperwork how he has you do it. So for Diallo, he has us email the paperwork, have everything ready and prepared before we even leave. That way, when he goes to get everything ready for you, it's already ready. We didn't have to wait in a bunch of long lines and wait for hours and hours for things. When we got to Sierra Leone, the visa process was smooth because Diallo already had all of that done for us. Like, he was really on it. So I think that depending on the tour guide or group that you go with, your experience is going to highly depend on the person that you go with, the person that is leading your group. So for Monuments and Relics Commission, what they require is, one, a letter that you write yourself directed to the Monuments and Relics Commission, and you guys will get a copy of this, I believe. I think it's also online. If I can find it online, I will also link it in the description. But if you go with Diallo, he'll give it to you. So it's a letter that you have to write yourself requesting why you want to be a citizen, why you think you should be a citizen. That includes your mailing address, your phone number, your email, your full name, and it has to match your passport. So you want to make sure that your information, your name, and everything matches your current passport, because they're going to use that information to create your new passport. And if you have issues with your name change, like for me, I legally changed my name. I had begun the process a little bit before my Sierra Leone trip and finished when I got back from Sierra Leone. Alhamdulillah, I was able to show that I was in the process, so I was able to get my new last name on my passport. So I just had to show proof. So if you have a name issue or you've had your name changed, marriage or religion wise, then you need to have that information. You need to have that ready. The other thing is you have to have proof of your Sierra Leone descent. So Diallo will have that for you. So you don't have to have a copy of that paperwork. African Ancestry already has that. Diallo has that proof that you have maternal or paternal lineage. You also need a live birth certificate. So a birth certificate. And this is why I want to do this video now, is sometimes you don't live in that state. Maybe you don't have these things already. And for me, I don't like to wait to the last minute. And I believe that you need to start working on these things now, because time will go by fast. For me, I get stressed out with last minute things, and you don't want to wait until the last minute. So you might have to travel, you might have to order your birth certificate online through the mail, things like that. You also need to make sure that your passport has at least 6 months before it's going to expire. I think one of the people in our group had a passport that was going to expire. He had to go get a whole new passport, and he ended up not leaving with the rest of us and had to meet up with us like a couple of days later, like 4 or 5 days later. He met up with us in Sierra Leone, so he didn't even travel with us as a group because his passport was soon to expire. So you want to make sure that your passport's up to date. The other thing is, okay, birth certificate, a biodata page of present citizenship passport, reference letters. So a reference letter, and it says from either a lawyer, a physician, a banker, an employer, an educational, basically someone of high status, high title. So this was hard for me because, and it has to be notarized. This was hard for me because here in the US, we don't really always have a relationship with our bankers or our physicians. We don't have lawyers on speed dial. Most of us don't. So for me, what I did is I had a letter from my imam. So if you go to a church or you go to the mosque, get a letter from your imam. I had a letter from a friend of mine that also happens to be in the military, but I've known her for years. I had her write the letters for me. So people that have known you and can speak to your character. So this is a character reference letter. And they're just gonna state that you're a good person and, you know, what your character is like. So it also says these letters should be notarized. So I totally misunderstood these instructions, and my letters were not notarized. However, I did get my passport. I was not denied. Notarized means that person has to have it notarized and has to physically take it and get it notarized. So if that person's not in your city or your state, like my friend, she lives in a totally different state, she would have had to have paid, or I would have given her money to not only write this letter, but then to take it and go get it notarized. That's a lot to ask somebody to do. I didn't realize it until the last minute because, like I said, you want to do this before the last minute. I did not realize, and so my letters were not notarized. Diallo assured me it's okay. So if you can get them notarized, don't take your chances, get them notarized. Mine were not notarized and it was okay. You also must do a federal and a state background check. So you're gonna do a live scan. So here in California where I am, I did my state live scan. I also did my federal live scan, and that basically just makes sure that you don't have any felonies or anything like that that are active, that you're not, that you're not wanted in your state. If you already have a live scan, I suggest you do it again. So I was actually I had recently just did a live scan for a contract work project that I had done with the state of California. So because I had just recently did it, did not need to get another one. I just went, actually I take that back. I did do another one. So I went to my local police station and got the state one. And then I went online and did my federal one. So you need both. You need federal and state live scans. The next thing on the list is mandatory for applicants to be in Sierra Leone. Okay, so the next is you're going to do your citizenship workshop. So there's specific dates. So African Ancestry goes to Sierra Leone based on the dates that Sierra Leone tells you have to be there, because they do this conferment workshop, they do the citizenship workshop, and it doesn't make sense for you to be there if you can't do the workshop, because the workshop is required. So I went in April, I think it was like mid-April. They're gonna go again in November, which is why I wanted to get this video out now so that you guys can be prepared and be ready for November. So I think April and November are the 2 times of year that they go to Sierra Leone. This workshop costs $100, $100 US. And that's to cover all of they give you basically information, they do lectures, they have guest speakers come and give you information about the different ministries. So education, health, business, tourism, the historical monuments, everybody comes out. And then when you are done, you will get a certificate of participation that shows that you did the workshop, that you finished it and completed it. So that is required. So if you cannot attend that workshop, or you can't be there at that time, you will not qualify for your citizenship. So while you're there at that workshop, they give you information, like you learn about the Constitution, you learn about the rules, you learn about the laws of Sierra Leone while you're there, and you get information about just different like businesses, different collaboration opportunities, different tours and things that you can go on. So this workshop is really nice. They do a whole welcome ceremony. There's like lunch or dinner. There's performers, music, food, like everything. It's really great. And it gives you opportunity to see the other groups that are there as well and to meet the other people that are there. So with the above cleared, a request will be made by the Monuments and Relics Commission for the Immigration Department for your passport process. Okay, so it looks like, yeah, November. So, and then there's also contact information on this sheet if you guys have questions for people specifically in Sierra Leone. So it looks like it has Francis's information and Anne Marie's information. Those are people that I know are in Sierra Leone. I'm not sure about this other person, MF Carbo. So I would say if you have questions, contact Diallo. I wouldn't bug Anne Marie. I would contact Diallo or African Ancestry if you have questions. So that is what you have to do to prepare for your trip to Sierra Leone. You also will have to take a COVID test within 72 hours. I believe this is still a rule, so it was pretty, because I just got back in May. So I get back in April or May. So you have to take a COVID test, and you have to have your yellow fever shot. So yellow fever, I think, is required, and you have to have COVID. Anything else is like malaria and all that. Those are additional, they're optional. So you have to have your yellow fever, and you have to have your COVID test within 72 hours. So you have to present that to, I believe, so if you go with Diallo, I believe he's gonna go through Brussels. So Dynas does not go through Brussels. I believe he takes Delta, and I don't know where Delta flies through, but it doesn't go through Brussels. So you'll go from wherever you're at to Brussels to, I believe we stopped briefly in Senegal, and then Senegal to Lungi. Lungi, you'll get on a ferry and go to Sierra Leone. So you have to have your yellow fever, your COVID shot, all that paperwork. And then when you're on your flight in Brussels, they'll give you a health declaration form that you have to fill out on the flight. So they want you to fill that out because when you get into the airport in Freetown, they're gonna ask you for that. They're gonna ask you for that immigration. I'm assuming Diallo does a visa on arrival. So when you get there, all of that's ready. There's like a whole special line for us. Like, we didn't have to wait in line with everybody else. It went by so fast. So you arrive and it's very, very organized, very organized. There's people there to help you with your luggage, to help you get your luggage from the conveyor belts onto a cart to get you onto the bus. There's people to help you with your luggage from the bus to the ferry. There's people to help you get your luggage from the ferry off the bus. There's people at the hotel to help you get your luggage there. So it's very, very, very organized, but you have to do your part. You got to have your paperwork ready to make Diallo's job a lot easier. Okay, what else can I tell you guys? So that is what you have to do to prepare, to get ready. If you have any questions, I'm just looking at more paperwork. If you have any questions, please let me know. So for me, I live in California. I flew from California to DC. Everybody met up in DC. There will be a African ancestry team waiting for you in DC. So they gave us like these really fun, what are they called? Like the waist pouches to put stuff in, an African ancestry t-shirt, some goodies. I don't know if they're gonna have that again. I believe when I went was the first time that they did it. But I think they have other stuff all the time. So when you go, you're gonna meet up at the airport. Dr. Gina Page was there. I was not able to meet her, but I heard that she was there. I actually got there a little bit early, checked in, and so I was already at the gate. So I missed everybody, but everybody else, they met at the African Ancestry booth. They help you get checked in, make sure that you're checked in, get all of your flights and information, everything, all your tickets, because if you're paying African Ancestry, they've already done it for you. So there is an option where you pay for your own flights. I didn't want the hassle of that. I wanted to have somebody else to plan this trip for me because I want it to be as smooth as possible. So there is an option to have African Ancestry coordinate your flights, or you can coordinate your flights on your own. There's also an option for you to have a roommate or to go solo. So when I went, you guys will see in my video, I did not have a roommate, and I think it maybe saves you $1,500 or so if you have a roommate. I don't know if the roommate rooms are bigger or if they're double bed. I'm assuming maybe they're double beds. Yeah, they're most likely double beds. So maybe you'll have a bigger room. I don't know. I didn't have a roommate. So those are your options when you book your flight with African Ancestry. Is you can book your flight and they can just do everything else, or you can have them do everything for you. You can have a roommate, no roommate. You gotta have all your paperwork. Just kind of making sure I didn't forget anything. Your yellow fever shot, your COVID shot, get on your flight, get to Brussels, show your health declaration form. Okay, and then when you come back to wherever you're coming from, you have to take another COVID test. Diallo, again, organizes that for you. Take another COVID test to come back. Lastly, money. So in Sierra Leone, we have new currency now in Sierra Leone. So it's changed, but the value has not changed. It just looks the same. So I will post a little picture here. My husband told me, don't be posting that. This is the money here. You don't want to walk around with this. So Diallo has a money guy that meets you at the hotel that can bring money when you need it. You can keep it in your safe. I kept a little bit of money, but then I also took out money out of the ATM. So we stayed at the Radisson Hotel, at the Radisson Blue. It's really nice. There's 2 ATM machines. Problem is, sometimes the ATM machines are empty and there's no money. So there's an ATM by the front door, and then there's an ATM in the back, like by the desk. sometimes there's no money in those ATM machines. And if you are really nice to the people that you go with your group, maybe you can borrow some Leones from them. I had to borrow some Leones because I did not have enough money, because I did not want to be walking around with millions and millions of Leones. So I think for my budget, I gave myself a budget in addition to the flight and the expenses that I already paid African Ancestry. I gave my budget of $500. So I think we're there for 2 weeks. I gave myself a $500 budget. And once that budget was done, or once that money was gone, I was supposed to be done. I think I had to transfer more money, like maybe $200 or $300 more into my account. So I think I spent $800 in Sierra Leone between buying stuff, eating. So that's the other thing, is your meals. Some of your meals are covered and some of your meals are not. I think 2 meals a day is covered. So you can do breakfast and lunch, you can do breakfast and dinner. When we're traveling, your water, everything's covered. Diallo's super sweet. A lot of times he just buys people's meals anyways. I think I paid for 2 meals, maybe 3, the whole time I was there. But you'll spend a lot of money shopping. You'll go to big market, you'll spend a lot of money shopping, at least I did. You will pay for your COVID shot while you're there. You're gonna have to pay for that in Leones. What else did I spend money on? Maybe I'll make a video on, if you guys want me to make a video on what I bought in Sierra Leone and how much money I spent, let me know. But basically I think I spent $800 in addition to what I paid African Ancestry for my trip. So I would say save up about $800 to $1,000 in spending money that you could take with you on your trip to Sierra Leone. And if you're a good budgeter, then yeah, because some of us spent our whole time shopping in Sierra Leone. I think that's it for this video, guys. If I left something out or you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. Life is good. Have a blessed day.